And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had one prompt of like, oh, like here's 10 different personality traits, here's 10 different superpowers, here's 10 different drawbacks.
I like coming up with random list of powers and then just see what I come up with.
Imagine rolling just those things every single time. It's always going to vary. The possibility of that happening is, again, like a 1 in 10 chance, but it's like, it shows that there's an infinite possibility.
Always something else cool right around the corner that we can come up with, because there's no end to the prompts. There's no end to what we can roll up.
We're going to be officially rolling for superpowers. This is usually the make or break.
Roll for hero.
Oh, we're crooked. There we go. We're getting there. Give us a second. Oh, come on. There we go. All righty. There we go. We're up there now. You with us, Esteban? No, I don't hear anything over there. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties today. I'm looking at you, Benjamin, over there 50 years later comment. We're working on it. We're trying to get it figured out, but we've been having a little bit of
There we go.
There we go.
And yeah. All right. Here, there. Sorry, everybody. Ayo, and hello, everyone, and welcome to Roll for Hero, a segment of the channel in which we let the dice dictate what on God's green earth we will be drawing. And of course, today is a special episode. I can't even tell, and I crashed.
I can hear you again now. The audio hung up for a minute.
You're very much
but
behind.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a lot of
Just restart your computer. I feel like restarting it would
show go on. We're already here. Welcome to the show. Let the dice dictate what we draw. Today's a special episode because today we have Fiance here on the show. Of course, the best part of the show, our humble opinions that I'm. But also the reason why Fiance is here today.
Yeah.
So today is going to be rolling. What we're going to be drawing.
I'm excited.
Yay! Happy birthday, Fiance.
Thank you.
Now we also got a schedule for medieval times. So that's the reason why she's looking all princessy like.
Yeah.
Now let's just hope that everything on mine functions properly, because right now my side, and I should have restarted my computer a while ago. It's not even that high. That's doing its thing too. Anyways, it keeps cutting out. I know. Sorry about it. But anyways, let's actually show off what we relatively done for last week's episode. If it even shows.
I didn't get finished.
On my
Somebody has been busy running a Kickstarter and did not finish his character from last week. But on the plus side, the Green Zone trade did hit gold just a little while ago. So we are on our way to our first stretch goal, which we should probably hit by, say, tomorrow or so. We're on our way to our second milestone reward. When we passed 50 backers, we released the Virgil, 3-inch sticker of his head, looking awesome. And now we're well on our way to getting the Bellamy sticker released, so things are going good there. So I'm sorry I didn't get my bad guy finished. Esteban's came out a lot better. Esteban's. You good over there?
Tell because again, difficulties. So last episode for the Kickstarter and stuff like that, we ended up rolling characters that would basically live in the world of Mr. Fish's comic book, The Green Zone. And in it, I rolled up a genome who happens to have spider-like abilities, and not only that, actually has the ability to mutate other people. Aesthetic, which I ended up doing by giving at least 4 of the spider legs, and then giving them the spider abdomen, and then giving him 4 arms, of course, giving him this scary, lighter adjacent face and what. So that's more or less what I ended up doing. And I guess if this character ended up existing in the world Green Zone, he would never obtain his citizenship. He is like a purely stuck in the military, won't see the light of day or won't see the light of freedom in any way, shape, or form. No way this dude's gonna live on, on a proper. So that's more or less, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like the idea behind that character of like, what if somebody was so scary looking, even though they met all the requirements to get citizenship, like they were just too scary for people to want to let them get it. Like, I could totally see that guy being too scary for anybody to want to let out with citizenship and just coming up with excuses to keep enlisting him or sending him into more and more dangerous situations where you kind of hope he's going to get killed or something so that you don't have to answer why he doesn't get, discharged this time around when he gets home. I love where that story could go. So anyway, in honor of Fiance's birthday and going to medieval times today for the birthday celebrations and festivities,
Oh yeah, I can see this.
we are and going to medieval times. Well, there is a bad delay on your end, isn't there?
Good here, or sorry, it keeps. Our side's getting super topped up.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
sorry. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Anyway, in honor of Fiance's birthday,
has to be
we're
our
going to be
internet.
rolling fantasy characters. I'm just glad it's not my internet for once. I'm just happy for that. Not that I'm happy it's y'all, but I'm
Yeah,
it's
part of me
not
wants to
me.
restart the computer, but
If you need to, go ahead. I can vamp for a minute and talk about Green Zone if you want. And I'll look over the Kickstarter for a second,
part of me wants
and
to
you go
restart the
ahead and
computer
reboot
just for the sake of
100%. I can vamp and talk about Green Zone.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see. Where is it? It's over.
Yep.
Okay, boys and girls, we're going to talk about a little Green Zone for a minute. Like I said, we hit goal, which is awesome. We hit goal just a little while ago, thanks to the Be in the Book tier. And one of my awesome backers that had already backed at the Be in the Book tier, so he gets one of his original characters added into the backgrounds of the story, and then gets a new file made in the alpha files where it breaks down all the characters and gives you their backgrounds and stuff. He gets a file in there for his characters. He had already backed at that tier. And then he said, you know what? I want to add another character in. So I ended up making a Be in the Book add-on as well. So he got to add that on again. I had another guy that wanted to add that on. And yeah, the glitching was pretty bad. It was, I admit. Oh, thank you. You posted your awesome. Okay, that went weird for a second. And my chat's gone now. That is weird. Hopefully I'm still on. It says still streaming, so I'm going to keep moving like we're still streaming. But anyway, so we added on add-on for the tier so that people could do that if they wanted to. So those big guys that wanted to get their characters in the book ended up putting us over goal today, which was awesome. And we're almost at 69 backers. And when we hit 100 backers, we're going to unlock our second milestone. We've already unlocked the Virgil sticker, big old 3-inch sticker of Virgil's head. And the next one is going to be Bellamy when we hit 100 backers. And now we're on towards our first stretch goal for the metal bookmark, which is kind of like the corner boxes in the old comic books, like for Marvel, where it's got the logo and then it's got the heads of the different characters from the book. I'm really proud of the bookmark, and I really like the metal bookmarks. They come out looking amazing with the shine and everything. And then after that, the next stretch goal will be unlocking the cruiser from the book as a miniature. So all physical backers above a certain tier, like if you're getting the tier with the physical prints of the minis in it, that and above, you'll get the cruiser when it gets unlocked as a mini too. And then if not, you'll be able to add it as an add-on if you want that. And for digital tiers from the digital deluxe tier above, you'll get digital STL files for all of the 3D minis that get unlocked. So if you have a 3D printer at home like Esteban does, or if you have one at the local library or local makerspace, you could take these files and print up versions for yourself. It's for personal use only. Please don't go out there selling them everywhere, but it'll be available for you to print up for your games at home. And then down the road, we've got trading cards of the characters. We've got the bus that delivers into Green Zone. We got trading cards of some of the bad guys and other characters. We've got the little truckster with Virgil in the back that he drives around in. Yay! There you go. Okay, it is showing up over here. All right, I think I know the ones you're talking about.
All right.
Let me look.
How's the girl doing? Okay. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Fiance is currently out and about right now, calling her uncle at the moment. So, she's all there and whatnot. But anyways, I will say this. I am, obviously, Mr. Fish was probably talking a lot about the Green Zone stuff. I am super ecstatic that it is like the quote, what I'm going to call the quote unquote bare minimum has been fully funded. I'm glad we're actually exceeding that right now, guys. So very awesome. Very proud of y'all for supporting Mr. Fish. Obviously, given my situations in life, I would have loved to, and I am going to in the future for all of his other projects and such. And but when that trade is in the store, I'm going to snag up a freaking, trade, because I love a nice completed, arc and a story and such. But yeah, outside of that though, awesome art, Ben. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, Ben, you are popping off with making so many characters based on either previous one, like either previous list or something else. It's like, dude, I'm astonished with the amount of characters that you are literally concocting and rolling up in that dome of yours, bro. I envy you sometimes. I will admit to that. I envy you. And the fact that you have that drive to always, pump out some awesome designs and stuff like that. So I am, very, very jealous.
Oh yeah,
totally
man.
Honest.
The designs are great. The colors are always really interesting and eye-catching. Like, I would not have thought to do that in those colors, but I love the way it came out looking. And the designs are always sharp, always top-notch stuff. And like you said, you knock out a lot of ideas. It reminds me of a certain little fishy I knew once upon a time. He used to knock out ideas like crazy every which while. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we looked at those ones last week. But we also got one I hadn't seen before from Dadpool. I don't know if this is an older one or if we just missed it, but I hadn't seen the Candy Stripe, not unicorn, zebra. That's the word I was looking for. I hadn't seen that one before. So I pulled that one up, and then, okay, we've seen that one before.
Yep. Guys, I'm loving all the amazing art. Keep it up. Keep rolling some fun stuff like that. Honestly, and hopefully, because Mr. Fish, I believe you were working on a little pamphlet or a little booklet that you can kind of chuck out to the people out there at conventions and whatnot, so people can roll a character for themselves.
Yep. Yeah, I've been working on that. I'm going to make a whole new list of prompts and stuff in a little ash can booklet that we can give away at cons, and it's going to show some of the characters that we've already done and like what we rolled and what we thought up to get to that character design. And I'm going to have templates in there so kids and adults or whoever needs a little bit of help drawing in the beginning to figure out like what they want to work on. They'll have some different sized characters and some men and women in different sizes and shapes, and have like your big Hulk guys and your little thin Spider-Man guys and whatnot, and you can draw over that with your own ideas, and hopefully it'll be fun and it'll be helpful for people and
And
give
for
a
all
fun
we
thing
know,
that we
we're
can do
probably going
live
to
at show.
see the next upcoming either fantasy, sci-fi, or some crazy awesome series out there, and it probably just came from a little pamphlet made by two weird uncles on the internets.
Not the M&M's.
They're not the internets.
Oh no, he's glitching again, people.
This time intentionally. Outside of that, though, Fiance is back now, fully functional again.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank God.
Now it's a show.
Now we can get back to the show and where we're supposed to be at, because we got a lot to do with such little time. I know you got a whole other show after this. We got medieval times to attend to at some point. So I believe we are done talking and yapping. And I mean, congratulations to Mr. Fish on completing his entire Kickstarter goal. We love it. We're here for it. And speaking of things that have been completed, if I am to chuck this out there, issue number 1 of the Grub that I've actually worked on, so the Ultra Value Spider-Man that I actually created, is actually completed. So this book right over here is 100% done. It's only 22 pages long. It was a ton of fun to put together. I'm also going to go back, edit a lot of the speech because, we were talking about it when I showed Mr. Fish. So I'm not a writer. I am an artist for sure. But this book is all done, and I can't wait to find a way to start getting it out and then having it in your hands. But I believe we are done yipping. We're done yapping. And I think it's about time we get ourselves rolling on some awesome heroes today. But we're not going to be rolling anything. That is going to be Fiance's rolls.
Heck yeah. Okay. How does this work?
You've seen me do this, and you don't know how our show works?
No.
And here I thought you loved me.
She watches about as much as my wife watches.
You know what? But that's a good thing, because then they listen to our artistic rants later on. All right.
This time we're doing fantasy, correct? That's what you want to do.
Yeah, so the
right?
settings, we don't have to worry about it. But for anyone at home who's joining along, if you want to partake,
go to Origins.
And now we're doing Origins. This is a 2D12, so it's just 2D6.
I was about to say 2D12.
All right.
That is a 4.
You're on the 4, everyone.
We are a failed experiment, or successful, either way.
Failed / okay. I gotta write this down.
So, and experiment.
Oh, I forgot. This one's on a D10 because this is way back in the beginning.
Oh yeah, that's right. Use your one of your resin dice, love.
No, these don't roll well.
I take that back. Well, they're also probably too big anyways.
Yeah.
You could still use the D6. I mean, we can roll.
I got my.
It's
my
okay.
mini
She's
dice.
prepared. We're D&D players. We're way too prepared.
I would have assumed you would be, but I wasn't going to call you out on stream if you weren't.
This one.
Dragon Gaming, I didn't see yours come up in the search. I've been searching for it, and I haven't seen it. So maybe if you tag me in it on Instagram, Mr. What is it? Is it Dots? I think it's Dots.
Alrighty, we can get on to the next portion if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Or whenever you have that chance.
Mr.fish.comics. Tag me in it, and hopefully I can find it. So anyway, Origin. Or we got that, so now we need to go on to the next one. I'm doing too many things. Power sets.
All right.
How many powers will it be?
Oh.
How many powers will you obtain, my love?
5.
5. And that
5.
is
3 minor powers.
all right. And now we have to roll for said minor powers.
All right, let's get to the next
I think
one.
these are all D10.
Okay, I'm gonna leave major powers up for a little bit for anybody that's got that, just because y'all may not have gotten the same thing we got. But we got invulnerability, super strength, super speed, elemental control like heat, cold, earth, water, whatever you want. Animal weapons, transform self, transform matter, telekinesis, immortality, and your choice. Be creative. And now we're going to go to minor powers, and we have 3.
All right. What are these, all D10 based? All right.
Yeah.
Here, let's do this just to kind of speed the process up. We got 2 of those. So we have a
26.
we have a 2 and a 6.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why
I see what you're doing.
All right, so we got a number 2 and a number 6. What is the number 2?
Body weapons like claws or fangs or horns.
All right, and number 6 being
Weapons. And number 6 is hand-to-hand combat. So that means being a Billy Bad Butt, like, you know.
And then we got numero 3. What do we got for 3?
Energy projection, like lasers, things like that.
Projection. Perfect. All right. Anything else outside of that?
Not for us. Not if we got 3. Yeah. So we're incredibly skilled as a hand-to-hand warrior. We've got body weapons like claws or something natural that you would find. Like you could have giant teeth to bite people like an alligator, whatever it is, and energy projection of some sort. Maybe you shoot fire.
Instantly. I'm thinking like in Dungeons and Dragons terms, like a monk, like a kung fu style monk.
Oh yeah, that really does. Like, oh yeah, 100%. Oh man, I got my idea.
Like,
and depending on like what race you picked, you could already have body weapons like horns or claws. Or
now, what race should it be then? Now we can go off D&D, or we can go off of just whatever.
Because I can't tell what I would want, either claws or horns.
Well, that's on you.
Let's do horns.
All right, then.
So then, what would that be?
So, I mean, that could be a variety of animals. It could be a gazelle. It could be a deer. It could be a goat.
Well, because this is fantasy, deer.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, indeed.
the most fun animal to draw.
Oh, God.
Doesn't have a deceptively complicated head or anything. No.
Unless you want to play it off like Tony Chopper and have the character just have very simplistic antlers. You really hate me, don't you?
I like
credit card was used for evil kind for you. Okay.
Like trying to get it to look like a deer and not a moose or a cow or an elk, but a
cow.
deer in
I think we
specific
do Australia.
is tricky, and I love it.
Okay, we could do a minotaur. Or however, Mr. Fish, however you're going to do it, but I know what I got going on over here.
Ben says, to be honest, I thought Fiance would have chosen horror since she's a horror fan.
True. I mean, she even printed the iron lung out.
That is true.
Showed off.
Where did I put it?
She did.
Oh,
okay.
This one?
After Powers.
See? She even printed the iron lung from the movie.
Oh,
Neato.
cool.
Yeah.
I have not seen the movie. I'm probably not going to see the movie if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's probably hard to watch now because not many theaters kept it. It was out for a very limited time.
Okay, motivation.
Oh,
What
shoot,
are we
motivation.
doing?
Forgot about that.
What are we out for?
All right, roll.
Bighorn
All right.
Ram was a good idea too. That's where I was thinking.
Yep.
That would be nueve.
Number 9. What do we got?
Number 9, seeking a cure for your powers.
Oh.
All right.
Maybe the energy projection was too much for your
Yeah.
body, and then maybe the other weapons that are forming from your body are getting too much, so you're on a journey trying to find a way to just get yourself back to your regular self. Who knows? Alrighty, I believe we have a good amount of awesome prompts.
Do we want to do modifiers?
Ooh, yes. Let's see.
Do we
Let's
want to
see.
throw a monkey wrench in?
D10?
D10.
That would be 2.
What is numero dos?
Power comes from an artifact. Okay,
Oh.
so this is something that gives us our abilities that could be lost, could be broken, could be stolen.
From an artifact. Perfect.
So maybe it's the powers came from an artifact that cursed her or him, whatever. And then she's looking for the cure for the thing.
Oh
I miss these spaz outs, man. I love it. What you got?
Oh my goodness. I'm thinking like my first thought is like a medallion or something that like you found in a dungeon and you put it on and now you are cursed with these abilities that make you stronger, but they also have like a monkey paw effect, and now you're looking for some way to get rid of them. And like the only way, in my mind, for my character at least, is the only way to get rid of them is to find somebody else to take it. And then you're like, oh, I can't do that to somebody else, or can I? Like, how bad is it going to get before you're willing to get rid of it? Like, how bad? There are some nights my Tourette's is so bad and I'm in so much pain and kicking, I almost would give it to somebody else. But then I think about how much pain I'm in. I'm like, no, I don't hate anybody that much. But there's sometimes that, almost.
Or
that gives
what if
us.
this artifact was embedded into their skin? Like, what if it was like a gem or something? Maybe like a pair of earrings or a medallion. And then they put it on, and then they can't physically take it off. Like it's embedded into their chest, and that's what gives them the powers.
I love
but
that idea.
Them.
Okay, so then what is it cursing them to look like? Is it like a human, or do we want to go more animalistic? Like, again, they're a human being cursed with it, so they have like, they're a human, but they have like the horns popping out of their head. Maybe they're getting claws or something like that.
I was thinking like the curse would be the energy.
What do we got, Mr. Fish? What do we got?
I'm gonna get started.
All right, get onto it. You see, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I really missed season 1 style roll for hero, where we just rolled it up and we just went crazy ham on it.
But yeah, I'm thinking so like the energy projection is the curse. So they
like
they
Steven Universe, a jewel in his belly button.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So like they already have like the hand-to-hand combat and the body weapon. So in this case it would be the horns, but the curse would be the energy projection, and they don't know how to use it, and they're just trying to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Okay, it's kind of like
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's like if Superman didn't know how to control his laser vision kind of a deal. So he's trying to find a way to get rid of it. Okay. Love it. So what are you thinking about this? Where are you thinking design wise for me, hon? Since you're here, because
I do like the centaur.
Centaur? No, so that's a minotaur.
Or minotaur. That's what I mean.
That's the one.
The minotaur.
Like redoing Strella there.
Yeah.
For context, Strella is a strawberry cow minotaur that I drew for her on like a food themed D&D campaign. And she was a centaur fighter. So then Dragon Gaming says, essentially got a daredevil mixed with ghost rider character or a ghost character with my human. Oh, wait, that's what you got. Sorry about that. With ghost character with my human born with heightened senses and acrobatics motivated by their vengeance with their powers coming from a ghost. Not bad. And then we got Benjamin saying, so would either character interact with Oak Fang from season 1? Probably not. Because I would definitely say Oak Fang from that whole Primal Empire thing, that is its own like separate universe, in my opinion. Because that one is just going to be more like an Avatar, but with like ancient Aztec luchadors. It's like the best way that I can sum up that entire world.
No, I don't like that. I'm going to change it. Because it's my drawing and I can do what I want to.
Oh, wait. That's going to probably go from chest. Oh, look at that. Taking. Oh, I'm loving this.
And imagine if I actually do play her as a monk in a future game.
Who knows?
That would be pretty fun.
Speaking of, I don't want to put that out there just yet because I don't want to say nothing that I don't mean to be saying. Boom, boom, boom. All right, there we go. See what these are. Strella, yes. So Strella is a D&D character that I drew for the Fiance over here, and originally it is like a strawberry cow minotaur.
And she was a fighter.
I think I still have the picture of her here somewhere.
The first idea of Mr. Fish looked like an eldritch horror. I love that.
Okay. Now, what kind of monk though? Like, do you want to go more like? Well, how would you envision her? Like, what would she wear?
Hmm.
This is your character that you rolled up on. Mr. Fish gets to go free ball because this is him. I'm here with you, so you have a bit of a say here.
Yes.
Gotta keep fiance happy,
Especially on her B day.
especially on the B day.
I don't know. I guess maybe like.
I'm also thinking like the traditional monk robe and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
You do the outfit.
Okay.
Because I'm good either way.
She gets a free character out of this, everyone, so she's winning regardless.
Like the best I can probably do visually would be like a Hero Forge.
Artist Shepherd got a human goat hybrid with a cursed collar. That's pretty cool.
I'm not even gonna lie. Part of me was thinking to actually like give her a cursed, like just to play on the cow theme or the Minotaur theme, like to give her a full blown like a bell that most cows would wear.
Yes. Oh my god, how cute.
And we're just gonna probably put something over here to make it look like that.
Benjamin says, am I the only one who realizes this is the final episode of season 2 for Roll for Hero? Actually, we're counting like these two as very special episodes. So not quite counting them as season 2.
Yeah, these are as much as trust me, we still have the sci-fi saga left to really dive into. We have a lot of things that we want to still draw for that universe so then we can kind of cap it off. So last week's episode and this week's episode, they're not really going to count into season 2 just because that last week we were celebrating Mr. Fish and the fact that he was launching the Kickstarter for his, campaign for the Green Zone, which thank God it is successfully paid off and then some. So I am very ecstatic for that. Can't wait to get my grubby little hands all over that book. But of course, and then this one is, I wanted to dedicate this to the fiance because it is her 11th birthday.
Ooh, a nose ring.
Yes, didn't I not give her a rose ring last time?
No, but they're suggesting like.
Oh, the nose ring being the cursed item.
I like that.
But here's the thing. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. She doesn't know it's the nose ring.
Okay.
Like maybe she looked into it, saw it was like a really cool like little piece of jewelry. And then her being an arrogant adventurer, not knowing, it actually gave her that energy projection ability. And she never really kind of put 2 and 2 together just yet. And then it's like later on, she then discovers like, oh shoot. But then now it's like, if I take it off, is it going to like hurt me or is it going to hurt someone else?
Or I would feel like she won't be able to take it off no matter what she uses, like either her strength or like some form of, scissors.
Wow. That's not how you take a nose ring off.
I wouldn't know. I'm a guy. I don't do that. There we go. I think it's pretty good. You got the friggin' legs of that one Street Fighter character. I forgot her name. Dang it. And then, of course, we got to add that strawberry cow tail. I was trying to find a way to get that tail involved there. There. Still going to make it look like a little thing. There we go. Okay, we got somewhere. Wow, this is actually probably the fastest sketch I've ever done here.
Because we're on a time crunch.
Because we are on a time crunch. All right, not fancy. It's okay. What do we got going on here? Does this mean this character is related in any way to the Strawberry Minotaur character? Maybe, if anything, this character here is probably the same character, but just now no longer like because I mean, your character looked a lot more like a pirate, not really much of a, it was a pirate fighter kind of a thing. So this one's more of a like, martial arts monk style character. So we're just giving her a whole new vibe.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Boom. And then I was thinking about like adding like a little thing like that. No.
I don't know. I'm actually vibing with the nose ring.
Or like a little thing like this? No?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta pick something, hon.
Ready?
All right, sorry. Yeah, there you go, hon. Big head.
like smaller like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I gotcha. I meant like the same species related. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, then again, the world that I created for this character to live in is a full-blown like food-themed campaign. It was actually the second campaign I actually ran. It was the Pirates of Sweet Tooth. It was a whole food-themed campaign. In it, there was Captain Black Licorice, Captain Caramel Claw,
And my character, Lemon Pez.
who was actually a wood elf, I believe.
Yes, a wood elf rogue. And she was based off of Pez candy.
I believe you turned her to a ranger now.
Did I?
I believe so. I mean, I drew her. She has a full-blown bow and arrow.
She's always had a bow and arrow.
Well, I made her look more ranger-like, and not the Power Ranger kind.
I can just see that in the game. Oh, I rolled a 20.
Oh, trust me, I plan on doing. I was actually. So we wanted to have our friends pop on over, and we were gonna do like a homebrew, because I call it Nary because I have my own system, and it was gonna be like Dungeons and Dragons themed Power Rangers. That was the whole like gimmick of it, and I would have given like extra rolls and extra points if everyone played into the bit, like full blown super cringe. Y'all are gonna shout your super moves and all that other kind of stuff. Like if you did, I would be like,
$100 activate.
exactly. No, if you even acted the morphing sequence in full character,
Yes.
no cringe.
You have
like,
to move your hands when you talk, or nobody will know who's speaking.
And then you realize that they wear helmets, and it's really hard to emote with helmets. That was always like one of the funnier things about Power Rangers. I always find that was one of the funniest things about Power Rangers. Like I realized that they had to talk with their whole body because.
Oh
of the
yeah,
fact that,
you got to, because their face is covered up.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Dragon Gaming says some of his comments aren't appearing. R.S. Shepard says she could be like, "Where's Waldo?" You could hide her in all your art like Todd McFarlane did Felix the Cat. Dragon Gaming says, "Mr. Fish, I tried tagging you in my Green Zone character." Okay, let me go Instagram. Notifications.
I think this is just more or less I don't know if I'm ever going to get to the line art portion of this, just because we are like really crunching for time here. So I'm kind of glad that I'm able to at least get a more refined sketch in this, which honestly is good that we kind of do stuff like this. Alrighty then. I actually really like that little hair top. I'll still give you a little bandana too, just for simplicity's sake.
I got Swamp Yankee liked my photo. A couple others liked my reel. Knights of G mentioned me in a
I
reel.
love
like,
Oh, I love that.
kind of like flowing into the wind.
I mean, it's not showing up in my notifications. Let me search for it again. Let's see.
No, not Shang-Chi.
Oh.
It's a Street Fighter character.
Oh, yes.
Because that's what I'm like weirdly reminded of right now. Because of the legs.
The legs.
The legs. Okay, there we go.
What's your name on Instagram, Dragon Gaming, so I can look it up? Oh, see, now I like where our Shepherd's head's at. Saying you should do a Green Zone contest where your readers submit characters and you choose one that appears in the next book.
I like that.
Ooh.
Look at that. All right.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That'll be a blast and a half. All right. Over Here,
My only concern would be somebody getting upset if something happened to their character that they didn't like, because like Green Zone's not a happy feel good kind of place. So like,
yeah, it's definitely like if the Marvel universe did take a bit of a darker turn
oh yeah,
and stuff like that to an extent. I was also thinking about too when I was at work. I was also thinking about like how the Green Zone world would like kind of work in Marvel in a way, and I feel like your world is definitely like if Marvel went a touch, not too dark, but like
darker,
dark enough.
Yeah.
I had one of my super backers messaging me earlier and was asking me just like about how some things work in the book, and he's getting his characters in the book, so like he was asking some more detailed questions to know what to think about as he was designing these characters up. And I was telling him about like one of the particularly darker elements of Green Zone that makes that world different from ours is in the 60s during the civil rights movement, when they were fighting for the rights of Black Americans and genomes and stuff to be treated better, because up until now in history they had both been treated as less than, and they were fighting for their rights, and they were trying to integrate schools, and there was a group of kids being forcibly integrated into a school in Capital City. And in the first issue of Green Zone, you'll see people holding up signs, talking about like, remember this school, don't forget, things like that. It's talking about this public school where they were integrating these kids, and they tortured and teased these kids so bad, and just throwing rocks at them, yelling at them in the middle of class, things like that, that one of the kids couldn't take the stress and his powers manifested in the middle of class, and he detonated and took out half the school. And so that was a big dividing line in the country from then on, which is why they look at all of them as supervillains waiting to happen now. And so if you have superpowers in this universe, you're a bad guy. It's just a matter of time. Even kids will do it. If you torture them and scream at them and terrify them and throw rocks at them, they might throw a tantrum as a child and accidentally, hurt somebody when they have superpowers. Yeah, that happens. But so that was a big split in history. And he's like, well, how do you handle big changes like that in history and the after effects that come after that? And I'm like, it's a lot to think about and it's a lot to plan out. But sometimes you kind of get lucky and find ways to where you can make it have the effect you want without just steamrolling across all of creation and changing everything. And in that, they ended up accidentally helping out Black Americans, and they got to very quickly jump to the other side of the us versus them fence. And now it was humans against genomes are the scary ones. And they suddenly weren't the issue anymore. And so things aren't perfect and there's still issues, but it's not nearly as bad as it was because there was a much bigger us against them to worry about when a kid blows up a school. So the genome suddenly became way scarier, and he couldn't help what his power was, and he certainly didn't, want the kids torturing them and stuff, but none of that matters in the moment. All that matters is, there was a disaster at a school and the genomes are responsible. And it gets real dark really quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was also going to say too, I mean, I can also understand like if J. Jonah Jameson lived in that world, I can see why he would have such a massive like hatred against Spider-Man, because he doesn't work for an agency and you can't tell if he's a mutant or not. So like imagine putting Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson in the Green Zone world. Yeah, the justification would then go up like way higher and stuff like that. Because I was also thinking about it too, and it's like I feel like if like you took some of the elements of your world and put into Marvel, I feel like the X-Men would actually be the quote unquote like the program in order for like mutants to integrate into human society. But instead of like, I don't know. I was kind of thinking about how like the comparisons are really interesting that way. And if I was to take your world and put it in the Marvel universe, I would actually implement those ideas and such. But that is just,
Yeah.
maybe a bit.
I mean, like, if the X-Men were sponsored by S.H.I.E.L.D., like the Avengers often are, then that would be a lot more like Alpha in my universe, which is kind of like a cross between the FBI and the NFL. I just thought about it today when I was talking with this backer about it, that essentially that's what it is. Like, it's a international organization, but they hire up any genome who's talented enough to like go pro as a hero gets hired up by Alpha, and they train you and they send you out on missions and tell you where to go and what to do, and you just go and smile for the camera and save the day. And you get to be a hero and look good on TV and have lots of adoring fans and make good money, and you get to fly around and use your powers without worrying about going to jail for it, and everything's hunky-dory for you. But, if you don't look good on camera, or your power isn't cool looking, or, tests well with the home audience, then tough luck. You're in the green zone and you're scrounging for food and struggling to survive. And he was asking me why in the book Agent Terry from Alpha is so nasty to the other genomes, and I was like, he's not a genome. Like Spider-Man, he's a human being that got powers. He was in an explosion and ended up with superpowers, so he's a whole different class of people, and he still has all that inbred institutional racism in him, that genomes are lesser than and they're just dangerous by default. And after he got his superpowers, he's like, yeah, as soon as I got superpowers, I didn't suddenly start knocking over gas stations and stuff. I didn't have to go out and commit crimes like they do. You also weren't starving to death in the green zones either. You got your powers when you were in the military, and you were taken care of, and you were fed and trained and housed, and then instantly got brought into the pros, and suddenly you're a famous superhero. But yeah, real tough. Not at all what the genomes have to go through.
That's some tough stuff, man.
Let's see. Imagine fusing Marvel with Green Zone, says Benjamin. R.S. Shepard says, King of Darkness. Well, He also says, what if a genome whose powers did not manifest until after death? Literally, their power resurrected them from death, and they're all distorted by body horror. That would be cool. That would be really interesting, especially if they didn't register as a genome on tests. So they spent their whole life as human, and then they die and come back to life. And they're like, wait a minute, this is still all my stuff. No, you just lost everything. I mean, consider if you were like Bruce Wayne and you're super rich, and now all of a sudden you died, but you're okay now, and you just lost everything because, you're a genome now. You can't have millions of dollars. That's not going to work.
Also, it turns out, doesn't one of your characters kind of suffer through a similar situation? Like they happen to be ready to live the high life and stuff like that, but then all of a sudden their abilities got awoken.
Yeah,
if you will.
It hasn't been openly talked about too much in the book yet, because honestly, I was supposed to be on like issue 30 by now, but the publisher I started with couldn't keep up. When they heard me say I was planning on doing a book every other month, I don't think they really believed me. I believe they thought I was just talking big, and they were quite shocked when I started knocking out books. But that's beside the point. But yeah, Bellamy was a late bloomer, so she was a normal human in college, about to graduate and take over the family business, and be rich and influential for the rest of her life. And then all of a sudden her body hair starts turning into razor sharp quills, and now she has to worry about bumping into somebody and going to prison. her training officer grabs her hand because she's mad at her in issue 2 and nearly dies a few hours later because of it.
There we are.
I tell you what, that's something I haven't really talked about in public, but that was one of the most traumatic scenes for me because when I first put Corporal Waters in the book, the very first time I stuck her in there because I needed a training officer for Bellamy, I didn't have a real clear idea who she was going to be yet. I knew she was going to be like a no-nonsense lady, not like I ain't got time for your BS kind of girl. But that was all I really knew about the character as I was putting her in there. And I couldn't really get a handle on what I wanted her to look like and feel like and sound like. And then I thought of a friend of mine, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to base her on her. Not exactly, not one for one, but when I was drawing Waters, I thought about my friend and thought about like the expression my friend would make and what she would be doing in this situation. And so that helped influence it. And suddenly Waters became a much more real character and had a lot more emotion and stuff in her. And I fell in love with her, and now she's one of my favorite characters and has an interesting backstory and all this stuff. So I based her on my friend to the point where, like, when the building blows up in end of issue 2, and Waters is in charge in issue 3 of all the chaos, trying to tell people where to go and what to do, I messaged my friend and I was like, hey, if you'd just been blown up in a building, like, and now you're in charge of making sure everything's getting done and people are safe, how long would it be before you fixed your hair? Because I know I wouldn't care what my hair looked like, but I'm also not a black woman. And she was like, yeah, honestly, I would be fixing that as soon as I could. And so I was like, okay, that helps, give the character some depth. So, she's trying to straighten her hair as she goes, and she cares about this kind of stuff. And then out of nowhere, my friend dies and has a massive heart attack, and just wake up one day to the news that she's not here anymore. And it broke my heart, and it was very upsetting, and it still messes with me because she was pretty young, and it really sank home just how serious it is that comic creators as a whole have a history of not living very long. And our job tends to have us sitting at a drawing table for long hours and working long hours, and it's not the most conducive to getting out and exercising and stuff. And then it can be stressful and all that. And she's gone now. I had to continue on. I had to finish the book and all this stuff. And then I get to the end scene of issue 3, where Waters is laying on the ground with her hand all swollen up, looking like she's dead already from having her hand stabbed by Bellamy. That messed me up so much. I think it comes through in the final image that it's a very powerful image, because it really messed me up having to essentially draw this avatar of my friend laying on the ground dead after she just died. And that's still tough. That is still tough to look at. I almost dedicated that issue to her memory, but then I realized I can't do that with her laying there like that in the final scene. I think I'm probably going to end up dedicating the trade to her, but I couldn't end it there and say, hey, dedicated to my friend. I didn't have the heart for that.
Mm-hmm.
Happy I could be a joyous little bit of storytelling on your birthday.
Right? Not only that, but
no worries.
it's all good. But outside of that, though, I managed to come up with the design that we got over here. And it is actually a strawberry cow monk with a cursed nose ring. So if you get like a tiny little look here, I don't know, probably not the, the vibe with it, hun? No?
What?
The nose ring.
I don't mind it.
Right? Just making assurances.
You're just a little thinner.
Also, that's the actual black on her nose.
No, I know, but I mean just making it thinner.
Ah, okay, I see. I see he's just a blind man to his deaf brother. There we go. Let me just do a little bit of that. And then we're just going to do that. There we go.
Yeah.
So now it's a cursed nose ring that actually gets powered up, whenever she's like in the heat of combat.
And then the curse is that even though it's giving her extra boost in power, it's slowly killing her from the inside.
Hence why she's on the journey trying to get rid of this nose ring, but it's really difficult because she doesn't want to give this curse to somebody else. But at the same time, she wants to get it away from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the same vibe I'm going for with my dude here, who was inspired by a friend of mine's book that I thought of as I was thinking through ancient artifacts and it being cursed and changing you into something, and they're gone. Are they back? Yep, they're back.
Happened?
There we go.
There we
Okay.
go.
Doing Peachy Kane now. Don't know what happened. Sorry, everybody there.
But as I was saying, that's the same vibe I was going for here, because as I was thinking through the artifacts, and I think Fiance mentioned turning into something, and I got to thinking about ancient gods and all this stuff, and then it hit me. I was reminded of a friend of mine's book where this cult worships this giant alligator, and then they end up this giant alligator god, and then they end up finding a really big alligator in the river and start worshiping it, and they bring it into their temple and start feeding it sacrifices, and it becomes a living embodiment of this big giant thing because they just feed it and turn it into it. And so I thought, what if a gem that was designed to worship this alligator god ended up slowly turning you into him, and the more powerful you got using this gem with the body weapons and stuff that it gives you, the more you transform into this gator, and you're eventually going to lose yourself to it completely if you don't get rid of it. But who would you be willing to give this curse to that's going to turn them into an alligator and make them want to start eating their friends and things? And I love the idea.
Look at that. Fiance inspiring us on her birthday.
I'm telling you.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah, also I just kind of want to make that a little cleaner. All right. And that happens to be more or less the gist of character that we got going on over here. Maybe just kind of just give her some.
Fiance gets +5 on all her inspiration checks for that fancy dress.
Oh, thank you.
I tell you what, she put that on. I'm like, how you doing? Come around here often? As she enters our home.
She's gonna make me have to start dressing fancy for the show.
Right?
Dragon Gaming says he ain't gonna put up with t-shirts no more. It's fancy dress or nothing.
I gotta get you guys some fancy dresses now.
I'm telling you.
What do you mean like
I
that?
like to be dirty.
Alrighty, and that is more or less my character, or at least the character for today. Actually, I really like the way this came out, especially with the body thing. Ooh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just do this little bit here as well. And then we're just gonna amplify the dark magic radiating from the horns. And then just kind of
Imagine if there's a cult in the world of Jupiter Jack.
Easy to work on that one. They would just, worship the friggin' black hole. There we go.
I like that.
So it's like it actually is like creating. So maybe this cursed energy kind of like also operates in between the. Just probably like that. And there's. There we go.
I like that.
So now we got that dark energy going from the horn. She is cursed energy galore.
Yep.
Loving it here. Love the way this came out. Actually, I am really enjoying the way that this came out.
I'm just doing this.
She is a perfectionist, even on scrappy sketches.
Oh no.
I found Dragon Gaming's Green Zone post. Blood Diamond for Green Zone. Unarmored and armored versions.
Oh.
That is cool.
That.
I love the helmet.
All right, everybody. I will have to say this. I got to start heading on out because, we were told that we had to head off to Medieval Times like an hour early. We also live in Orlando, so it's a whole thing and a half here.
Mm-hmm.
So to everyone who kind of popped on, I know this is a really quick thing for me to kind of be in, and then I got to get out, and then all the technical difficulties. That's all there. Anyways, on our end of things here, I'm going to be signing off. So, of course, I'm going to say my usual things of stay awesome, stay weird, and keep life to the easiest. And remember, art inspires all but you. Until then, everyone, stay ultra, love y'all, and keep it easy.
Bye, Fiance.
Bye, Fiance.
Let's see. Tommy Drula says, if you didn't see my idea, I wanted to make an X-Men parody inspired by the boys, but the mutantless humans would be more relatable, and the X-Men are messed up people concept-wise, mainly. Yes, they are. Mr. Fish's character looks like the lizard character from Green Zone. You mean old Virgil Green? Yes, he does. He has a lot of similarities with old Virgil because I've gotten used to drawing old lizard men over the last few years. And it's really funny to me how much drawing Virgil changed over just the first couple of books because I had to draw him so many times that just out of sheer repetition of doing it, I learned lots of little tricks and stuff along the way to make him look better and read more reptilian quicker. And so, yeah, he changes along the way. He actually, if you really pay close attention, you will see that, I hate to admit it, but Virgil loses a finger somewhere along the way between issue 1 and issue 2. But I realized the more I was drawing him, he just looked better. He just looked better with 3 digits and a thumb with his big, giant, massive hand. It just makes his hands look bigger and more animalistic than having 4 digits did. And so somewhere along the way, I just left it. And I was like, you know what? That's a treasure for the eagle-eyed viewers that are really paying attention to find. And so far, I've only had one person point it out to me that I didn't mention it to first. Let's see. That's the one. I also have the last 2 Roll for Heroes posted in my Hero Forge. Okay, let me look again. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's cool. I'm really curious how you got all those designs on there. Is that all stuff that you found in there to kit bash, or? Oh, dude, that came out good. Oh, whoa. That's wild. Oh, and he's got the spike on his head and everything. Okay, this is your, okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Digging it. Let's see. Dragon for Dragon Gaming. Go figure. All right. Good deal. Let's see. I can't believe I missed it. Have you found my Hero Forge creations? Yes. There we go. Oh, Doggone Comics. Let me look. Doggone comics. I found doggone comics. Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's see. I found Scarlex here. Oh, I like the way you put those crystals upside down. Like, that's got a really awesome energy signature look to it. Like a energy fireball. Oh, that's a cool use. That's a really cool use of that. Let's see. Oh, neat job. There you go. Got it coming out of the arm. Good job on the color choices, too. All right, let's see. Oh, I should have been able to. All right, that's all I see on there. I just used and looked at all the parts in the main Hero Forge. I got you. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Deadpool says I need to roll for my character now. Well, there you go. Roll it up, man. You may have to go back and look at them though to find the charts. We went back and used the original ones that we were using a D10 with because it was a little more inclined to help out with the. Whoa, I can't use my marker. I almost used my Sharpie on my drawing tablet. That wouldn't have been no good. There are more versions of radio. I wasn't finding them. But anyway, I got to get this finished because I got to hurry up and get this finished because I have got another show I got to get to shortly. And we got Lori Calcaterra from Path of the Pale Rider coming on. Talk about her Kickstarter and all the awesome stuff she's offering. Man, she's got all kinds of cool. She custom makes hot sauces for her campaigns. Like, makes them in her kitchen and bottles them up all cool. I shared with her how I make custom boxes and stuff and custom packing inserts for my boxes, and now she's making inserts for her boxes that hold her hot sauces and get them to you all nice and safe and sound. And she is somebody that really challenged me to up my game. And when I come across somebody who inspires me and is smart and doing cool, interesting things that I haven't thought of doing before, that's somebody I keep in my close inner circle and I become friends with real quick. If they'll let me, if we get along. Every once in a while you meet somebody who just, the kind of person who wants to keep everything hidden to themselves or whatever, and they don't want to be friends. But most of the cool people I've met, like Esteban, are instantly like, oh yeah, cool, man, I love doing that. That's so neat. And have you ever thought of this and this? And oh, what if we did this here and that there? And it just ends up, iron sharpens iron, and we encourage each other and inspire each other to do cooler and cooler things. And now Lori comes like right behind my wife when it's time to share something I see cool on TikTok. It's Kyron Silva first because I send him a lot of stupid memes at Taurus Comics, and then my wife, and then it's Lori Calcaterra because every time I see a cool design or like, oh, they're screen printing, shipping boxes or bags for farmers markets or whatever. When I see something cool like that, I send it to her and she sends it to me. And we're both into doing interesting, weird, nerdy stuff like book binding and things like that. That's part of why I love the idea of like mini comics and ashcan comics and stuff so much, is because I love everything from the telling the stories and the designing the characters all the way down to the like actual mechanics of making books and how to make them at home and how to do it yourself. And I just find all that stuff fascinating, especially thinking back to like in the beginning when like they had to develop printing presses and, make these things by hand. And if you wanted to reproduce an image, somebody had to etch that out in a plate for you. And yeah, there's so much work involved. But then you can mass produce it quickly instead of having to have somebody with good handwriting rewrite it 100 times. So you had 100 copies. You could just sit down and print off 1,000 copies of it. And I freaking love it. I love every aspect of it. Oh, look, more pictures in the post, he says. Let's see. Where's the doggone comics? Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, with the armor. I dig the armor. My thought would have been to go with the dark green, but I think I like that better. That's cool, man. That's cool stuff. Let's see. I basically use Hero Forge to give me a visual of the character, so when I put pencil to paper, I had a good reference and did my own thing. That's how you do it right there. Imagine what Marvel characters would be fused with Green Zone characters. Oh, there's some interesting ideas. All right, y'all, I got to go. This was a great role for Hero, Mr. Fish. Thank you, doggone. I appreciate it. That would be kind of a fun series to do. Like what would different characters be like in the world of Green Zone? That there would be a way to pitch the story and tie in like, oh, I like Batman. Oh, you like Batman? Here's what Batman would look like in the world of Green Zone. See, that's some clever marketing right there. I'm glad I thought of that. I might have to start doing that. That's not like I don't have a million things already on my plate that I'm not getting finished. Nah, couldn't be me. Couldn't be, wouldn't be, shouldn't be. But indeed it is. When people message me and start asking my rates and stuff, and they're like, well, what would it cost to get you to just pencil and ink it? Like, well, okay, that would be this price. All right, well, what would it be to just pencil it? Like, well, if I'm being 100% honest with you, it's pretty much going to be this same price. What? That's crazy. Well, you can see looking at my pencils, I don't go into a whole lot of detail in my pencils personally because I don't have to for myself, because I know I'm going to put the real flair and the razzle dazzle into it when I'm inking. And I really like to do the main drawing of the character while I'm inking, put in all the details while I'm inking, because then it still has that passion and kind of magic and verb and vigor of the magic of you're creating it on the spot, and it just comes out with a little bit better vibe to it in the end. And so that's the way I personally like to work, especially on my own stuff. Now, like if I'm doing a book for a client and I need to stick really strictly to a look of a character that's already been established or something, then I'll take more passes at it and make sure that that character is on model for what they're supposed to look like. I'm not just going to wing it on a client's book per se, but on my stuff, I like the energy and the passion and the freedom that comes with it. And I like the final product, might not be quite as tight as it could have been if I took another pass at the pencils, but it comes out with more energy and expression this way. And I like that trade-off. So that's why I work the way I work. But if I'm going to hand over pencils for somebody else, this is not tight enough to hand to an inker to put out a good book. I cannot hand that page of pencils to an inker and expect them to put out the quality of artwork that I want my name on. That's not good enough. So essentially, when I get done with my layer of pencils there, what would be my layer of pencils, I basically have to go over the whole page again anyway, as if I were inking it, so that when it's done, I'm giving you a much tighter design that I would be okay having my name on. And then you can go in as inker and decide which lines you want to make thicker and where you want to put in extra textures and cross hatching and stuff. I don't do a lot of that just as a conscious choice because of a book I read one time on inking, and the inker said in that book, basically, because we had both come from the age of the 90s when it was all about how much cross hatching can you pack on a page, and how many lines can you pack in there to make it really cool looking. But in a lot of ways it just ended up making the page look more confusing. And he said in the book that it's our job to tell a story, and any line that I add to a drawing past the point of telling the story is a waste of time, and that's just there for my own hubris and my ego. It's not there because it makes the book better. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I would spend hours going over and over and over and putting all kinds of cross hatching in, to the point that I've had colorists before tell me, I can't color this book. I can't color this page. It's already colored. You colored it black. And it's like, no, that's the way comics are done, though. But looking back, she was 100% right. There was no room on that page for her to do anything or to show her skills off. I had taken up all the room with all my fancy inks, and that's not cool, man. And it wasn't helping tell the story. Honestly, like, looking back, my mom could never look at one of my pages early on, and she could never tell what was going on. Now, part of that was she didn't do well with comic book pages, period. Like, something about she just never looked, and she was an artist, but she never could look at those pages and just instinctively know which panel came next and what was what and how it worked together. For some reason, that just didn't connect in her mind. But she also didn't have a lifetime of reading comic books and knowing the shorthand either. So, but especially in the 90s, they weren't making any of that stuff easy on you. They were expecting you to already be in the know and be one of the inside crowd. But she never could really look at it and get it. But looking back at my pages that I showed her, I don't blame her for not being able to see it in mine, because my pages were all black. It was all solid walls of cross hatching. There were no places for your eye to rest. There was no way to tell what was in the foreground, what was in the background, because it was all heavy black lines with lots of cross hatching. And so when I read that in that book, I fundamentally changed the way I inked, and I went back to the beginning and started over again and retaught myself to ink again. And this time it was purely with the thought point of how can I best tell the story of showing you the image I'm trying to portray to you of a person or an apple or a person eating an apple or a car blowing up or a cow eating grass, whatever I'm trying to portray. How can I best do that when I only have black lines on white paper to work with? And what is the least amount of lines that will most clearly convey that to you as quick as possible? And so I use a lot less lines than most people my generation. So that's also part of what makes me so fast, because most of the guys my generation or nearby are spending 3 times on a page what I am just to crosshatch everything. And I'm done going on to the next page already. So it's helped me out on speed, but I think it's helped me out on clarity. Because like Jim Lee's an amazing artist, but there are some pages in like the New 52 Justice League that I looked at for hours and still couldn't figure out what's going on because there's just so many lines on the page. And like there's one page where Green Lantern has this giant double page spread, and there's a whole lot of green, and there's a whole lot of green lines, and there's a whole lot of things everywhere. But I never could make sense of what was going on that page. And clarity became king for me after that. Let's see. Green Zone. Also, Mr. Fish could technically, at that fire elemental character from last week, he could add to Green Zone. Oh, I could add it to Green Zone. Yeah. Imagine if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were in Green Zone. That would be very, very sad for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Green Zone, because mutant animals, real mutant animals, have absolutely no rights and can be shot on sight like a rabid dog. You know, if the cops get called to a break-in at a warehouse and they found a Ninja Turtle running around, they just shoot it. They would shoot it like they would a pack of rabid dogs that have broke into a warehouse. Doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Doesn't matter if you can shoot lightning from your elbows. If you're an animal, you're done. If you were a cow growing up on a farm down the river from a chemical plant and you got mutated and now you're super intelligent and know kung fu, you're an animal, you could be killed. If you were experimented on by scientists at a laboratory or people at a corporation and they turned you into this thing, made you super intelligent, you can see the future and travel time, you're an animal, you can be put down at any time. You're property at best. And it's a miserable life. People like Virgil have a really hard time because he's a genome, he's a human that has a mutation that has made him look very much like an animal. So everybody just assumes that he must be one of those mutant animals. And genomes hate him because he's a scary looking genome, and people like him make us all look bad, that kind of mentality. So even among his own kind, everybody hates Virgil. The people on the blocks hated Virgil before he joined the force to try and get out. He's had a miserable life his entire life growing up. And the thing is that I'm only telling 4 people online right now that are watching Roll for Hero on YouTube. Y'all are the only people who are going to know this. His mutation is not looking like a lizard. That's all I'm going to tell you. But if you pay really close attention to the trade, you may learn what his mutation is. And if you see what happens to him in the trade, his mutation works in real time in the trade. And that may tell you how he got to where he is now. That's all I'm saying. You 4 are the only ones that know that. I expect you to keep this a secret. And if this gets out after I clip this and share it on social media on 1,000 different pages, I'm blaming Ben and Dragon Gaming and whoever else is in the comments right now. But yeah, that's when he gets tested in the first issue, he's got the lowest mutation of anybody because his mutation is actually kind of small, but the effect it has steamrolls, and now he looks like he looks. That's as far as I'm going into that here. Sheesh, imagine if Super Shredder was in Green Zone. And see, now, like, if it's a human that's in an accident, that's a whole different thing. There are cyborgs in Green Zone, and there's a short story that I want to do. And if we hit a certain stretch goal, I'm going to add this short story into the book. But there's a short story I want to do where Virgil and Danny get called to a bank robbery, and the bank's being robbed by two cyborgs, and they're holding everybody hostage. And Danny and Virgil come in and they risk their lives and they save the day, and they're arresting the cyborgs for robbing the bank, and all of the hostages in the bank that were just being held at gunpoint start shouting at Danny and Virgil and screaming at him, "Get your damn dirty hands off them, they're heroes." Because in the world of Green Zone, the vast majority of cyborgs are former military personnel that got arms and legs blown off or whatever in battles overseas, and the government gave them cybernetic limbs. And so most of the cyborgs are former military. So even if you lost an arm in a car wreck and now you have a cybernetic arm, people are going to be thanking you for your service every time you walk down the street, because they assume you're a military hero. And so even after robbing the bank and holding these people hostage, they like the bank robbers more because they're, in their eyes, they're human injured military vets over these damn filthy genomes that just risked their lives to save you from the guys that were holding you at gunpoint. But, yay our team, boo your team. Doesn't matter, your team just saved my life and my team was trying to kill me. So yeah, it's a crazy world. Why blame you, Dragon Gaming? Because you're an easy target, that's what. Because you're right there and I could reach you. You see, I can't get Doggone. He's way up there and he left. But I can get you. You're right there. I can dang near touch you from here. Dragon Game says, I think I'm going to make my character is blind, but sees seconds in the future and fights hand to hand. Oh, with their acrobatics while listening to a council of ghosts. Oh, dude. Okay, see, I love the idea of not being able to see anything but hints of the future. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love that. I love that. And like, especially if it was something that only like really kicks in danger, like that could be so cool. That could be so cool. What if the bank robbers were just crooks? Well, even if they're just crooks, they're probably still going to like them a little bit better. But a human will look at a human crook as a bad guy. But when you see somebody that you obviously assume is a military vet, then they have this natural assumption, or at least a propensity to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, this poor guy, he's probably had a hard time since he got back from, whatever war we sent him to. And, like, people will have absolutely no sympathy for homeless people in the street, but you find out it's a homeless vet and all of a sudden it tugs at your heartstrings. It's a human being living on the street either way. But, oh, well, if he's a vet, and he's probably got PTSD, and all of a sudden we instantly have so much more sympathy for him, which we should have for anybody who is forced to live on the street and doesn't have a place to lay their head and a place to get warm and a place to get clean. We should have sympathy for anybody in that situation. But we're humans. We like to categorize things and we like to make it easy on ourselves. And that's one of the ways that it plays out in Green Zone is, even cyborg bad guys get more credit than genome cops do. The character I rolled today, I plan to have them be on the run from Vaughn Whitaker's criminal. Oh, okay. With the villain team called the Phantom Squad, hunting the character. Okay, it took me a second to remember. I recognize the Whitaker's name from your other characters. That's what triggered it in me. Anyway, oh crap! It's 4:00. I got to get out of here because I got to get ready for the next show because we're that was weird. Anyway, we're going to be back on YouTube and Facebook and all of those places on the 5-star feed coming up at 5:00 Central, 6:00 Eastern. And it'll be on my page and it'll be on the 5-star feed page on YouTube. So if you want to go over and give the 5-star feed page on YouTube follow, a subscribe, and a like, I would really appreciate it because we're trying to get that channel up and running again now that we have relaunched the show under the new name, and now we're not stuck to just being on Friday nights. So if you want to give it a holler, go over there. What if Genome was a cyborg? Then you're double damned. Which there are military. There are lots of genomes in the military because that's an easy way to get your citizenship. Just like sometimes you find a lot of people from the Philippines and stuff in our military because people told them they could get citizenship if they did that. I know back in the 80s, there was a lot of Filipinos in the military thinking they would get citizenship and they didn't. So there's a lot of genomes in the military. So if you're a genome cyborg, they might give you a little benefit of the doubt. If you're a more human looking genome cyborg, they'll probably pity you and, oh, you poor hero, here's a crust of bread. But you're likely to get a little bit better treatment than a regular genome because you're obviously scarred with being a veteran, though not every cyborg is a veteran, but people just kind of assume that. Like if you see a guy in a camo jacket with no legs, you assume he lost them in Vietnam or Korea or Afghanistan or whatever. And he might just be a hunter that lost them in a drunk driving accident. Who knows? But we make assumptions. So if Virgil was a genome cyborg, he'd probably still get the shit into the stick. But, if Danny was a cyborg, he would get pity. I'm thinking that the Council of Ghosts and the character both want vengeance against injustice. But if the character avenges a ghost, they pass on. And the power only activates while being possessed. Ooh. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Ooh, it could change too with different spirits that possess them. Like depending on like what that person was good at, your power set may change when you get possessed. That could be really cool and have kind of a Ben 10-ish aspect, sort of a Venom like aspect, like you're getting remnants of a previous host. Like you would. I like that. But I got to get going because I got to get ready for the next show. So we will get out of it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. If you haven't checked out the Kickstarter at gomrfish.com, go check it out. We are funded and doing well. Don't even remember what we're at now. Let's see. We got any more backers? I'm supposed to be leaving. We're at 68 backers. Got one to go till we get to 69. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Roll for Hero.
Roll for Hero!
And even if you were to have like a prompt of 10 different things, right? Like say if you had